What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Throw Show. Freshly back from Eugene, the World Championships.
How was it?
Exciting.
Yeah?
Stressful. I've aged 20 years in the last 3 weeks. Yeah, so we're going to start right off. And Pavel Fajak going out, winning. This competition I thought was absolutely ridiculous.
How many lead changes were there?
I think there was like 4 or 5 lead changes, but also like, to me, the whole, I mean, what was it, 5 or 6 guys over like 79 plus? It's like, I think Rudy got 5th or 6th, and Rudy's distance would have won Rio. It was one of those I had a lot of conversations about this. The men's discus, same with Alex. Alex's distance would have bronzed in 15 and in 16 in the discus. And it's like a conversation of people learning how to train without drugs.
Moral of the story.
Yeah, it's just this comp was legit. You know, the French dude was just popping off every single throw, throwing 80. Fajak had a couple big, deep ones. Why can't I think of the Pole's name who won the Olympics last year? But he looked really good. Rude. Yeah. I thought it was like an awesome way, especially men's hammer, women's hammer, to start the whole World Championships off. It was just like fireworks right away.
Yeah.
And having 3 American men in the final was fun. Rudy, Alex, and same with the women too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Who's this? This is Rudy, yeah. Oh man, we didn't use our footage for this? Rudy had a couple of nice throws like that where it was him screaming and doing the classic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I think it was just, part of the whole thing around the men's hammer and the women's hammer was just like the fact that they had to have it inside the stadium. I initially thought it was going to be outside the stadium. And then when they brought it in, and it's like, oh, wow. This is going to
cool.
be inside the stadium.
Yeah.
I felt like that made it that much more intense.
Yeah.
And it was a little funky too, actually. They had a miss mark on the Greek guy. They marked his last throw at 65 meters. He protested that, got like 2 more throws, sort of delayed the competition, and then didn't take, if I remember correctly, didn't take the 3rd throw because they had gone through the protest and erased his extra 2 throws in the final.
Huh.
So there was actually 9 guys that threw in the final, but the 9th dude only took 2 throws.
Okay.
It was a very, interesting. Like Rudy was even like, dude, I don't know why they gave him another throw to replace his 3rd throw that was mismarked, but then they gave him 2 more throws.
That's weird. Yeah.
All right, so this takes us right into Chase Ely popping off, and this was something I wanted to mention too. Chase and Bin Fang both won the comp on their first throw.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if anybody else did that. Men's discus now. Which I just think it's like Chase came out. And the interesting part with this meet too, with the women's shot, was like it had a similar feel to Rio for me. When Michelle Carter kept coming back every single round, and I felt like that with Li Gong. Especially her last 3, she kept getting better and better and better, but it was like clearly 2050 was too deep.
Right.
And this, even too, like that last 2 to 3 rounds, I think Sarah Mitten tied for 4th at like 1977. The Dutch girl looked really, really good at 3rd. And then Gong and Chase obviously were just in a league of their own where that, to me, it's like, I think she had 2 or 3 throws over 22. Like, that's just phenomenal. World Championship.
Yeah.
And she's the first American woman to ever win a world title in the shot.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
Because, Carter won the Olympics, so.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. And with almost a PB, too.
Right.
Like, that's insane.
On her first throw, nice and easy, just smoking that dude.
Yeah.
So congrats to Chase. That's a big throw,
Yeah,
big
that's
mark.
huge. Here's going.
Yeah, this was a 2039. And on, I think her round 6, it was like 2020. I also wanted to point out, dude, look how mad she was getting. I think when she glides, she actually jams that left foot like into the toe board.
Huh.
So I was trying to pay attention to that, but watch her left foot.
Yeah, like it lands. It doesn't land on the ground. It hits the toe board first.
And then comes down,
then
yeah.
it comes down.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I don't know if that's like, I remember Gunther used to do that. If you watch the 92 Olympics, you can see Gunther doing that a bit.
I mean, do you think it's intentional, or do you think it's just like...
A little long out of the back or a little high with the left? I don't know.
Yeah.
She's got such quirky, she comes off the toe as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay, so this is Janae Castner, who went out, smacked her second round throw, 74-86, and then ended up, I think, so she was in the lead. Brooke Anderson hit a big throw in her third round and ended up sort of controlling the rest of that competition. And this was the second straight world championships with an American female winning the hammer throw. And then along with that, Cameron Rogers goes out and just, of course, bombs one again. So she's like 23. Castavoid's 25, 26. Brooke isn't that old. So there's, along with Deanna, who's injured right now, dude, the women's hammer is just stacked. And what else was awesome, what I thought was when this, in the stadium, this throw, when she hit this, like, she had already won. She hit this, and the whole place just, like, erupted. Like, the actual participation was, I think, phenomenal.
That's crazy. I mean, and that's like, you wouldn't get that if it was out behind the stadium.
No,
you know?
Yeah.
That's just, I think that's cool, yeah.
She was also on my flight when I left Eugene, so I felt cool. I was like, yo, what's up, Brooke? You're cool. You're a world champ.
World champ.
Wave to me, please. Yeah, so this is, I think
Dude,
Kovacs, this was insane, dude.
I went nuts. When he hit this,
he hit it twice, too.
I think, like, my cat, like, fell off the chair when he hit this through and I screamed. Yeah, this is massive. I mean, he went 29 then, too.
Yeah, it was like 22, 20. I think he hit 3 22-meter throws.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
think 3 like 22-20.
Yes. I think it's 22-24 twice, and then 22-29. I also think, like, if you watch Josh's footwork, you can see that basically a flat left when he grounds at the front, and that right just rotates. It just rotates forward. There's no jumping with his right foot. And I think that that's like one thing I see with guys struggling with their fouling in the spin is they tend to have that right foot pick up and come forward instead of just transferring forward like Toon and Krauser. I actually think Joe's been staying down better than normal as well.
Yeah.
Real balance,
the
real
right
level.
Comes straight down in the middle and then
forward
into the finish.
Yeah, I just his whole series, that whole comp too was sweet.
Yeah. I mean, Joe just like bringing it.
He had a warm-up that was huge, and it bounced over the back end. And ramped off of the edge and then fell into the cameras in the discus and smashed 2 cameras.
Oh my God.
Like, it's like, that's the whole point. Everybody's like, why did they have the shot in this ring? They could have it over there and the discus over here and the pole vault where it was. The other thing that was crazy with Joe's series is, like, after his first, 3 throws, I felt like he seemed a little bit out of rhythm, and the comp was taking a little while. There was a couple weird hiccups during the competition. But then again, like, he hits this huge bomb, 2289, and Krauser responds. It's like, dude, the top 3 guys are, finally like a good medal sweep. which everybody's sort of been waiting for a while. So that happens with this awesome medal sweep, but also just insane distances. Like,
yeah, I know.
think about Maevsky and Storl. They won the world title with like 2180, 2190, and those were deep. Those are huge throws.
I mean, like who would have? Okay, like no one saw what happened in 2019.
Right.
With 3 throwers going 22, 90, and 91, but then for the next World Championships to go 2089 and 2094, like
22.980.
2022, yeah. It's insane.
Yeah.
And it just like just from like a numbers standpoint in general, but when it's actual performances, it's even crazier.
Yeah.
The sweatpants though.
I was talking to Taman about Joe's technique. And Taman was like, "So do I need to wear sweatpants or the baggy shorts?" I was like, both. So Krauser comes out, just responds I think this was the same round if I remember correctly.
I think this was actually after like a 4 or 5 minute break too.
Yeah, dude.
Because
the way that they were having these hiccups in the men's hammer, the men's shot, and dude, even in the men's discus in qualifying, this was during the men's qualifying. Mm-hmm. It was taking so long, and we should thank Dan McQuaid, who I saw randomly like out of the corner of my eye, and I never said hi to him, so I do apologize, Dan, because I wanted to talk to you. And we're stealing your videos for this podcast. But one of the things that I thought sort of stank was that they had those hiccups, and they're running this at the same time as men's discus qualifying, which I guess maybe makes sense from a viewing perspective because it's going to be like the same crowd. Mm-hmm. But then you're only watching the shot; you're not really paying attention to the discus.
Yeah.
Let's see this here, round 5. So imagine that he's in second place in round 5, comes back. Let's see.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
the anticipation.
22.94.
That's nuts. Let's just watch this one more
Yeah, I want
time.
to see his right side and compare it to Toon's. Toon Day. 22.29 gets third place now. It's crazy to think that. I mean, think about 20. Yeah, it's really good technique.
Who's he pointing at?
I don't know.
The camera, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so going into women's discus, I think qualifying for men's discus was absolutely insane. Like if I remember correctly from the numbers, it was the highest qualifying ever, top 12. And then 65-57 from Alex to get 8th. But the thing was with the women's discus, it was not as high. It was like 61 low to qualify. To get through to the top 12. The interesting point for me was, dude, Urinde looks great. She looked good. She ended up throwing 64. She got 4th. Those girls all looked solid in the final. But to me, in qualifying, it was very clear, especially because Bin Fang went out and qualified on the first throw, like 66 plus, first throw. And she had, like, 2 huge warm-ups, like deep. Val put one of her warm-ups into the cage, and then I think one of her throws into the cage, and then fouled the other one. And then it came down to that third throw in qualifying to get through. So you could she was like just slightly off, maybe. I mean, slightly off, and she still looked phenomenal.
Foul 2 throws in the throw 68. That's not too shabby,
right?
But, you know, all things considered.
Yeah. And then to look at Sandra Perkovic, she came out. I think she might have hit the standard on her second throw. But the way it played out was the drama came then. Perkovic sort of was like mocking Val and like doing the pirouettes and stuff that Val does when she throws. That's her style. That's like, to me, it's like her signature move. Mm-hmm. And Perkovic was like doing that as she left the circle. And I looked at John, the mobility doc, and I was like, yo, I think she's like talking trash. And everybody was like, oh. So it created this like built up drama, which to me maybe was an afterthought. in the final because Bin Fang went out and goes, 69 meters on her first throw. And I think it's like, dude, she cranked that throw. And she's such a big woman height-wise, but she moves so well. For her to do that, I think it shocked a lot of people. I think it shocked some of the Cuban women Perez didn't throw as well probably as people had expected. I thought she would have at least gone like top four. Top four. But I think that seeing the qualification and seeing how Feng was moving and Perkovic and then Val, it was like, it wasn't as much of a lock in your mind, at least in my mind, with Val. Like, I thought she would still win it. I mean, she got second. No, she got third, but it's still like, it just created, the qualifying created this sort of crazy drama.
Added tension. And
yeah. Which I think, to be honest, lacks in the sport of throwing because we all know each other so well, we don't want to make other people mad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is entertaining.
Yeah.
And we have to remember it's a sport. It's all about entertainment. So that was sort of my whole takeaway with the women's discus. And you look at what Chase did in the women's shot, you put out a big mark right away, and it's really, really hard to come back from that.
Yeah.
So that takes us into the men's discus, which was a very tough one, to coach, especially when you're looking at it going, Dakers didn't make the top 8. He was number 9 at 64, like 88.
Yeah, right.
Something extremely deep. Alex, but again, talking about hitting it on the first throw. Alex hit this throw 65-57 on his first throw. Furfika, the Romanian, hit his 65-meter throw on his first throw. And it sort of gives you that confidence, and you can sort of sit a little bit more comfortably. Now, he ended up tying with the Romanian, so the Romanian won on the tiebreaker, but it was still a lot easier to stay composed when you come out with a 65-57 opener versus Sam, who had like a 62 mid opener and then goes, I think it was 63, and then third throw wasn't that great. I think he got 11th overall. So it's like, it was fun coaching two guys in the final. It was fun seeing the competition record, obviously, with Che.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was Che, shocking stall. Goodsius getting a medal for the first time since 2017. Alekna just being an absolute gamer and showing up. And I think one of the things that we haven't really touched on is like Joe Kovacs, Ryan Krauser. These are guys that are like, the age of 27 to 33, 29 now with Ryan and 33 with Joe. Mm-hmm. Alekna's like 19 or 20. Che's like 23.
Right. And I think that's what we're going to see. It's like, shot put has blown up over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And probably in the next 5 years, we're going to be like that same thing's going to come through discus.
Yeah, I think you're. I mean, there's two young Jamaicans coming up. There's Alekna and Che are already there, number 1 and number 2 in the world, and they were the youngest guys in the field. Right. Then you look at Claudio. He's a guy who's thrown 67 meters, and he's 22. It's like, it's going to be, we actually might see the world record get pushed a bit.
Yeah.
I really like Che's technique. I like how smooth he is and balanced. Peterson gamed up really well. Stahl had a 69-meter throw taken away from him like 3 throws later.
That's tough to come back from.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was crazy. It's a crazy competition.
What did Sam throw in qualifying? It was 65.
65-80, 65-70.
Okay. I was just thinking that like even for both of them, Sam's throw happened in qualifying, not in the final, but it was both massive.
Great throws.
World championship PRs for both of them.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, yeah.
Like 2 meters.
Yeah.
Or Alex, much more than 2 meters.
Yeah, that was, for sure. I think that's the cool thing. Like, Alex always has a little chip on his shoulder being American that throws for Samoa, so he was sort of like.
He's not the only one in that boat.
Yeah. He's sort of like, I was the best American. He's like, Dane, I don't like saying this because I really like throwing with Sam, but I beat all the Americans again.
This this is how many major championships has this been for Alex before he made his first final?
So that was one thing with Alex was 13, 15, 16, 17, 19, 21. He had six world level championships before he made a final. He's made a Commonwealth Games final, but he's never made a Worlds or an Olympic final before.
Yeah.
So that was another thing. It's like
That's huge.
It's like constantly learning, and for him, he's like he felt like he belonged then. And we were on the edge of our seat. I didn't even watch. I was literally watching the men's shot final while the second group of qualifying was going on because I was like, I'm not going to watch because I thought it was like Claudio was in there, Schmeichel. There was like two other guys that I thought could bump him out. And they didn't. Well, Schmeichel actually did snipe him by like 7 centimeters.
But yeah, I think was it?
It was Claudio and someone else that I thought he could do the job, and they didn't. They didn't perform as well. And him making that as the 12th spot,
maybe.
It was like, dude, I don't know. It was honestly one of the coolest moments that I've ever had coaching.
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
Having that experience. And he's like, dude, he's the first Pacific Islander to ever make top 8. That's like literally history for the rest of eternity. People can look. Who was the first Pacific Islander to ever make the top 8 in the World Championships? Alex Rose. That's pretty cool.
Wait, in across all events?
Across all track and field events.
Wow.
Take out New Zealand because I don't think they should count as a Pacific island. If you look at like Papua New Guinea, Fiji, Tonga, Marshall Islands, all those, Micronesia, everybody, Samoa, American Samoa, all those countries, Vanuatu, like Alex is the first ever to be a top 8 guy.
Wow.
Top
That's
8
awesome.
athlete, yeah. So Guam, all those countries. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Not to take away from Chase, 71-13.
I was just thinking, Ed, like a small country like Slovenia. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
What was funny is in qualifying, too, dude, the first group in qualifying had 8 guys make it through. The second group only had 4. In the final, the qualifying, the wind was pretty good. In the final, the wind wasn't even that. Like, it was pretty dead. So that's where I was sitting there going, like, dude, if they had a little bit of wind like they had in qualifying, that might have been even deeper.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. It was seeing Alekna compete with those guys and not be phased is crazy to see guys that young, go in and go head to head with Goodzeus and Stahl, 2 guys that are world champs, Olympic champ, Olympic silver medalists, and even Maddie Denny. Like they're going toe to toe with these guys and they don't care who they are.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got the Commonwealth Games, U20 World Championships coming up, European
champs.
European champs coming up soon. So still, and the Diamond Leagues, more Diamond Leagues yet too, right?
Yeah, Diamond League final. And we should point out men's javelin, Anderson Peters won, and then
right.
Women's javelin, Kara Winger coming through, the first American female to ever medal in the event. Doing it on her last throw.
Yeah.
Doing it on her last throw in her entire career, which just, for me, like right now, thinking about it, I have chills, goosebumps on my forearm.
That's insane.
And I think Darrell had posted a video of him watching, and he's like screaming. And it's like, I feel like she's just somebody that everybody loves, and for her to come out and do that on her last throw, it's a huge, it's a huge result.
Yeah.
So congrats to Kara and Anderson Peters. I was going to say, I'm going to see Peters in that Commonwealth. He was in my building.
Oh, really?
I kept seeing him when we would go to eat, and I wanted to be like, yo, can I get a picture? But at the same time, I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm heading to Commonwealth tomorrow, so it should be fun.
Yeah.
Be there with CC, OB's throwing in, and Alex, so it should be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Stay tuned to the results of the Commonwealth. Peace.